has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on a bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seat, the bad apple with a bad. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion trade up, along with the Tutty and Tater King himself, the master of ceremonies, the original founder of the Aisle Seat podcast. Yet to win a Cape Cod Open, but a great golf bettor. Put it with the golf, as he likes to say. It is a thirsty Thursday. It's your boy Carver High, ladies. Along with Mafia and Luke. I am your father. The rundown on a C2C today. A double shot with Morency from Vancouver, where they don't win home games. And that's in the first hour. In the final hour, a double shot with Adam Kaplan, our NFL insider, with a special dose of busted capping your ass, per usual, on a Thursday. Carver High, as you see, the new studio window has finally been crafted. It took him forever to put it in, but I like the guy with the, I don't even know what you call it. Is it the Christmas foam? Is it spray paint? Is it, I don't even know. Look at the Ferrall coast to coast right on the window. It's like, what do they have at the church? You know, the pane windows with all the, what do they call that at the church with the funky windows in the glass? I got the funky, look at this. This is badass. It's the new set, the new window in the studio in New York. Look at this. You can see the skyline behind it. It's unbelievable. It's exotic. It's beautiful. SportsGrid taking the show to the next level.
That would be the stained glass windows. The stained glass windows at the churches, by the way, is what you were looking for. It looks great. Looks outstanding. You got all new setup back there behind you. It looks good. And away we go here today. The little stained glass window. That's right. I've been spending a lot of time. I got to go every week.
I got 5 left. Time out. I got to give you a report, Carver High. Yesterday, young Chop started the season and took on Mafia's Village in a high school girls varsity basketball game. And Chop busted off 7 threes and finished with 23 in a 20-point blowout of Mafia's Village as the Lady Bronze start 1-0 with their star and leading scorer and ball handler, the young Chopicus, going off, hitting 7 of 15 from downtown. I mean, she shoots better than most NBA players.
That's nice. 7 threes. That is the way to start the season right there. You got to go with the long ball. Not bad at all.
And then Ferrall last night with the playoff victory in the quarterfinals with 2 of our star players and 50 points missing off of our roster. They put Ferrall in there. And we still win by 6 and go to the semis. And guess who we're playing? We're playing the Ferrall Ballers, minus Ferrall. Wow. Just the Ballers on Monday night in the semis. So a big night of basketball in the Ferralla household.
Yeah, I believe they don't really keep score of Olivia's games yet. But I believe she did good. She had another bucket. She was down low. She grabbed it. She's got to work on some positioning. Buckets. But she's still 8. So, I mean, we've still got some time to work on all of that. So, she's doing pretty good as their first couple of games out there. They were some good rack last night as well. We got a lot to do today, of course. We'll talk about the NBA Cup. The Hawks and the Rockets are heading to Vegas. I saw you tweeting about the game last night. I was watching. It was a violent, physical game, that Warrior-Rocket game. That was
great.
It was tough to get buckets in that game. And, of course, in the other game, Ice Tray went off in the third quarter. Hunter went off in the fourth quarter. Ice Tray rolling the dice on the Knick logo as they head out to Vegas. Pretty good night in the NBA Cup.
Not only that, we hit the Hawks in the 8. Some people had it 7, 7.5.
Yeah.
Hit the bet, and they went outright. And we hit the Ice Tray PRA over prop at minus 120. So we hit both of those. and we did not cover with the Rockets. They win by 1. But what a game that was as the Dubs got hot in the second half with threes. I mean, this guy, Podziemski was hitting them. What's the guy's name? Waters? Could you believe this guy, Muddy Waters, hitting shots? Like, I never even heard of him.
Downtown Muddy Waters hitting shots. But I thought there was the Rocket D was unbelievable. They would not let Curry get the ball on that last possession. They were never going to let Curry take that shot. What do you think of the foul call? I know we're going to play a clip of Kerr being very upset about it. They called that foul, as Kerr said, 80 feet away from the basket in the final seconds, which, of course, gave the Rockets the lead.
Well, I thought that, first of all, I don't care about the Dubs. Second of all, I thought it was a foul. It was a loose ball, and, Green got it, and then he has some guy rake him in the head and land on his head and, just completely crank him and smash into him and land on his head. I thought it was a foul, and he made both under duress.
Made them both.
So they won the game. It is what it is. I thought, it wasn't the refs. The game was not. I know they all complain. You know why they complain is because they don't like losing. The Warriors aren't used to losing. They beat them 15 straight times, and Kerr gets his way. He's got more power, really, than anybody in the NBA. Let's face it, in terms of titles and seniority. Who is it? Him and Spo? They've been around the longest. Oh, yeah. And I think he gets that juice, always gets that call, always, and has the refs in his pocket. He didn't get it last night, and he was livid.
I know. I guess it would technically be Pop. I know Pop's been sick, and he hasn't been out there for the Spurs. But Pop's obviously
still coached it. He's been out so long.
He's been out for a while since he got sick. So there you go. Week 15 starts tonight. NFL. We'll do Niners and Rams today, as they will be in Santa Clara at Stonewashed Denim Jeans for this game tonight. Big game. Can you consider both are still in the mix for the NFC West, trying to get a little bit closer to the Seahawks, who are at the top right now at 8-5. Should be fun. Division rivals on a Thursday night.
It's brutal for me because I hate the Niners, and I don't like rooting for them in any capacity, shape, or form. But I have to tonight because I'm on them. So I need them to cash a ticket for me. So I hate these types of games where I'm betting on a team that I loathe.
It's never fun when you have to go and do that. So I got a lot of other stuff from Week 15 for you. Obviously, the Steelers and the Eagles, Bills and the Lions. We will start to dive into a lot of those games as well. So we have that too. Plenty of NFL on a Thursday on C2C. Did you see Belichick get introduced today at North Carolina as well? They brought out the AD, who was that? The AD with the cutoff sleeves for the jacket, and they had all the pomp and circumstance for him just in the last hour, as he's officially a college coach now and building the program in Chapel Hill.
I thought it was very interesting that it lasted as long as it did, and that he was as nice as he was and affable and funny. I thought he was great. And,
will he
stay
that way?
Has
media changed him? Has doing media for 5 months changed him? And will he be a nicer guy to media as the coach of North Carolina?
Did John Tortorella get nice when he went back to the Flyers? When he was doing the media, he was the greatest guy in the world. And then when he went back to coaching, he became an instantaneous D. And this guy is going to be the same thing. He's going to be D-bag central. But bottom line was, he was really nice today.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 East, everywhere along all of our outlets. And we took over the world a long time ago. And frankly, it was relatively easy. SportsGrid always loves having Morency on coast to coast every day as well, which is a blessing for us from Vancouver, a double shot. Morency, what do you think of my new, as I said, spray-painted window overlooking Manhattan? Carver High let me know quickly that it was stained glass window that SportsGrid put in.
I like the look.
I thought it was a spray paint.
Looking good.
Graffiti.
Looking good. I like the change.
I do too. It's styling, right? So tonight, well, first of all, I want to get your impression of the violence last night in that game in Houston between the Dubs and the Rockets, because I watched it after my playoff game. I got home late and started hitting the rum, and I had the game line. I was like, hey, this is nice and chippy. This game's getting interesting. They're starting to hit threes. It's starting to get violent. There were guys getting, just decked on screens. Williams, it was physical and violent. And then I really didn't think it was about the refs. I thought the game was just really good. And I couldn't believe they finally figured out a way to beat him after losing to him 15 straight times.
You know what? It turned into a really, really, really good basketball game. And no one can question whether they were playing to get to the semifinals. You could see the Houston Rockets wanted it bad. We saw Trae Young. You and I talked about it. And, in fact, we went 2-0 last night, Scott. You and I both talked about Trae Young and the Hawks and their dominance at MSG. They just get up for that, man. And those kids can ball. The Atlanta Hawks can ball, right? They've won. They're 7-1 straight up, guys. They've won 7 of their last 8 games outright, all right? So they're not just covering spreads. They're winning games. And – listen, that call, I was on Houston, Scott, and these guys can't shoot, bro, all right? They remind me of Michigan State. It takes like 3 shots for them to score a basket, but they really attack the glass. They battle. They play D. They're a fun team to watch. The thing with the Rockets is, too, they have a lot of annoying guys on their team, Scott. You know what I mean? Like Fred VanVleet's an annoying dude. He just pisses you off, like when you play against him. Dylan Brooks, that's his thing. Right? You've got these dudes on this team. They slap at your wrist. They slap the ball. They talk smack. They're not friendly with you before the game and the hugs and all that type of stuff. They're old school. The Rockets are like an old school team. It reminded me like the old school Knicks last night. It was old school basketball. And you notice what I don't understand though, Scott, and listen, the Warriors didn't score for like the last $130 or something, right? And they've blown a couple of leads, and Warrior fans are getting upset with Kerr all the time with the blown leads and rotations late. But that was a crazy call to make, bro. I can't believe they called a foul on that to allow the Rockets to win. I know why Kerr is up.
Did you think it was a foul?
Yeah, but they beat each other up, Scott. Yeah, he dove on him. He did. It's a foul. But they also beat each other up for the last 48 minutes, and then you call that with like 0.2 seconds left on the clock. Wow.
Fair enough.
That's all I can say. But, hey, I'll take it. I was on the Rockets. And how about this, Scott? Our boy Arash Markazi just tweeted this out. Tickets for the Hawks and the Bucks game are going for $29 in Vegas, bro. Too bad we're not there. We could sit courtside for like $75. Let the drinks start flowing, get the bets in. Oh, I'd so be there.
I would be there. Who do you think is going to win the
I'd
game?
go to both games.
I think Atlanta and the Thunder.
Me too. I think Atlanta and the Thunder, and I think Oklahoma City will beat Atlanta in the final.
Yeah, I do too. I'm with
as
you
good
on
as
that.
Atlanta is, but OKC here, I think OKC will finish it off.
We hit that fat ice tray PRA last night as well. He barely went over it, but he got it done early on.
What do you think about him rolling the dice on the logo after?
He didn't have an assist till like the second quarter. It was crazy. Usually he has a lot of assists. Let's talk about tonight at Stonewash Denim Jeans in Santa Clara. The Niners have a lot riding on this one. Frankly, so do the Rams.
Massive game for both football teams. The Niners basically need to win out from here on out. And if you look at the Rams, guys, they win this game tonight. They're only a half game back of the Seattle Seahawks suddenly for first place. They beat Seattle as well. And Seattle have a tough game on Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers. Now, incidentally, I think Seattle are going to win that game on Sunday night, but there's no guarantee when you're playing the Packers. That game's going to be a toss-up. So this is a huge, huge game. Oftentimes, guys, you'll see when teams have a perfect game. And, it's very similar, actually, to like a baseball pitcher. Like a baseball pitcher throws a no-hitter. People in the betting market like to hammer in the next start, right? Oh, he's going to get lit up. All the luck is gone. Oftentimes in football, you'll see this in pro and in college. When a team hangs, like in college, when a team hangs like 60 on the board 1 week or 50 and they run the score up, the next week they inevitably don't cover. The offense isn't there. So I don't think the Rams are going to hang 44, but I think the Rams are a better football team than the San Francisco 49ers are. The Niners have kind of owned them. They've beaten them 7 of the last 10 times that they played. It's one of those weird deals. The Niners just have, but there've been a lot of close games. And the Rams have won the last 2 times that they played. I'm taking the 3 points with the Rams tonight, Scott. And I like them. I think they're going to win this game outright. I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to keep up.
Wow. So you think the buck stops right here for the 49ers tonight? Their
I think the Rams
over
win
if they
outright.
lose.
I think they win outright tonight. I think the Rams are going to win the game outright. But obviously, I'll take the points. I took them in the super contest as well. Plus the 3.
I laid the 2.5. I got it when it was 2.5 and laid it. I think the Niners are gonna, go on their late season run like they always do, no matter who's out. Williams, doesn't matter if they're going with a 3rd or 4th string running back. It just doesn't matter. They always find a way. It's just unbelievable to me. And I think their schedule, they have to win this game. And I think they have 2 really tough games left that are brutal. And I frankly think this is one of them.
They're on the ropes right now. Like, they win this game, they're sort of back in it right now. There's still enough football left for them. But if you're the Rams as well, Scott, if you keep winning and Seattle keep winning, there's a chance you can still make the playoffs without winning the division as well. So, this is massive. What a huge difference between 8-6 and 7-7, right, if you're a football team. So, yeah, massive ramifications for this football game tonight. Should be fun. Niners, listen, they're sort of imploding a bit, but they're coming off a win. I'm not going to overreact because they beat the Bears last week. I still think the Niners have problems.
I mean, fair enough. And they have the Dolphins on the road and the Cardinals on the road. And I see
not
them
easy.
losing to the Lions at home.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koleks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
The NFL and college, they don't operate on the same timelines, right? UNLV's head coach just got, the Purdue job this morning, where I imagine, right, UNC probably needs to know from Bill.
And let's say it's late December, and we see 7, 8 teams open, and none of them want Bill. Then Bill's got to make a decision. Does he want to be a college head coach?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
We're talking to Morency. What are your feelings about Bill Belichick going to college football in North Carolina after his long press conference today? He's the new head man for the Heels.
I think it's great for the sport, great for college football. I think it's a perfect fit for Belichick as well. The guy's a teacher. He wants to teach football, and he'll get an opportunity to teach football in somewhat of a pro setting. It's almost like dealing with a bunch of rookies, right? If you're Belichick at that point, even a modern NFL player, we're starting to tune him out a little bit and just thought he was a jerk and didn't want to deal with it, right? Gronkowski basically retired because of him, right? Said, I don't need this. I've already won. It's not fun. I'm not having fun. This isn't fun, right? So I think Belichick has learned his lesson a little bit about easing up and taking the pedal off the metal, but I think it's a fun fit, Scott, and I think it'll work. Like, I don't know why people would question it so much. He's a great coach. Expect to see a lot of like former NFL sons on the team type of deal. That's what I'm curious about. Now let's see if he can recruit, because he's going to be able to coach. I mean, imagine Scott being the quarterback, bro, of Virginia Tech or Wake Forest, and the packages that Belichick can throw at you if he wants. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to come up. Yeah, like, seriously. He's going to be like, yeah, this kid's good. Don't worry. Here's a package he's never seen before. Like, he's going to be able to throw things at the offense is that they're going to be like, I don't know what they're doing.
What just happened?
Like, they got guys coming from this side, and I don't know. Like, they sold me on this side, and it came from this side. Like, he's going to trick people, bro. Like, even if I was a coach, I'd be like, God, I got to out-game plan Bill Belichick this week. Have fun with that. And all this, he's old. His girlfriend is 24, all right? His girlfriend's 24. Like, Belichick clearly feels young. He's 72, Scott. He might as well be 52, bro. Like, to me, I told someone it's like a midlife crisis for him, except he's 72, except it's really like, the fast cars, the young girl. Well, now let's go back to college. Hey, rah, let's go, right? Like, he's feeling it. And I love what he said. They said, why do you want to work? He goes, it's not work if you love it. He goes, this isn't work to me. He goes, I love what I do. This isn't work. He's excited about this. This isn't like I took this job because nobody else wanted me or anything.
He just thought jobs.
It was a good fit. You know what I mean? They started talking to him, and he said, and he's right. North Carolina, dude, we're talking about Michael Jordan. Oh, yeah, you know who he coached? Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor played there. Bill Belichick's father was a coach there at North Carolina, and he busted out his father's jersey today. Clearly means something to him. Like, these people that dismiss it, I'm like, no one ever got rich by Bill Belichick.
Learning from him as a kid, as a
if you want to go to the NFL, player. Like, why wouldn't you go there? Like, he'll tell you, like, this is your footwork's bad. Your angles are no good. Your hip work needs to get better. Like, he's an attention to detail, little thing guy. You want to go to the NFL? Playing for Bill Belichick's not a bad idea. Now, he won't be for everybody, right? Like the modern kids, like some of these kids, they're not going to be. It's going to be a non-starter. I'm not dealing with an angry old man, but the tougher type kids, they'll be able to handle it. Scott, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, I do too. I think let's just get over it. He's a genius. He's a genius at what he does. People don't like him because he's better than they are. Yeah. He's better. He's impossible to deal with. When it gets going, he's probably going to be a D to the media and everything he's always been. But the reality is, you're right. He's a teacher, who he is, and he's going to teach. He's going to coach. He's going to make these kids NFL ready. And he's got, I believe, a pipeline to the NFL. Do you know how many GMs and owners and coaches respect him and that love him? And look at when he was in the media. When he was in the media, everybody sucked up to him like he was their
you're right.
Like their best friend. Like they're all phonies. They can't get enough of Bill Belichick. Everyone.
And like Bill said, he said, a lot of college coaches would call me a lot and ask my advice about the game. And he goes, it kind of rekindled it for me. He goes, I was watching because there's a lot of like NFL. College is more NFL style. So he goes, I speak to a lot of college coaches and sort of realized, why don't I do this? Like, you know what I mean? And it's such a pro thing, Scott. I don't think he would have done this like 5 years ago. Forget about him being, I'm just saying, like, I don't think he could have handled listen, Bill, you can't take this kid out for breakfast because it's a violation. And, you can't practice that long. And, you know what I mean? All the rules, there's no rules anymore, Scott. They're professional operations.
Is Vancouver losing again tonight at home to the Florida Panthers? God.
No, I think they bounce back tonight as plus 130 underdogs. They got to get it done. Now instead of laying 80 cents, we're getting 30 cents. Scott, give me the Canucks.
48 cents. You can get about 48 now.
Even better. Give me the Canucks. And I get they played the Bruins on Saturday too, so they better start winning.
You need to go to that game.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koliks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
The NFL and college, they don't operate on the same timelines, right? UNLV's head coach just got, the Purdue job this morning, where I imagine, right, UNC probably needs to know from Bill.
And let's say it's late December, and we see 7, 8 teams open, and none of them want Bill. Then Bill's got to make a decision. Does he want to be a college head coach?
Pro football today, only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, what a game last night at the Toyota Center in H-Town between the Dubs and Rockets, Carver High.
It was a hell of a game last night. Of course, the NBA knockout round for the NBA Cup. Final 2 spots were available in Vegas on the Western Conference side. It was a very physical affair. Lots of defense. 91-90. The Rockets get it done. So to set it up, and you and Gabe have talked about it, we mentioned it at the front. You had that foul that was called. Send Green to the line. He makes 2, puts the Rockets up 1. Warriors had one last chance, Scotty, and obviously they want to get the ball to Steph Curry, but the Rocket D comes up huge in shutting this game down on TNT.
Do they have one more stop in them here tonight? Podziemski, the inbounder. Can't find anyone, gets it to Curry, back to Podziemski, they got a piece, and it is over here in Houston. The Houston Rockets have punched their ticket to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was a great game. Like, at one point I tweeted that out. I was like, if you're not watching this game right now, turn on TNT, because it was the best NBA game I've seen this year. And, you know, there's so many of them, it never ends, and there's too many of them, actually. And it's every night, basically, there's games. And it just is just ad nauseum. After a while, you don't even know what month it is. But that was a really good game. And I got to tell you, I watched the Knicks, and I wasn't surprised at all they lost. But this game was way better than that game. I mean, watching the Knicks meltdown was not as entertaining as watching that second game.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that there was a little something on the line. You know, I think that, and that's what they're trying to accomplish by doing this early in the season, is to try to have some of these November and December games that normally wouldn't be on your radar have a little something extra. And that game had that feel towards the end of it with the Warriors and the Rockets last night. Here's Kerr I wanted to play for you. He was very upset after the game, so much so that he had this to say and then decided to get out of town.
If it's not playing until Sunday, I mean, 3 days off has been a pretty frenetic schedule.
I'm not ready to answer that question. I'm pissed off. I wanted to go to Las Vegas. We wanted to win this cup. And, we aren't going because of a loose ball foul 80 feet from the basket with the game on the line. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and that was ridiculous. Thank you.
Bye, Steve. Bye, Steve.
You know what? They won't even fine him because
probably
I think he's got more juice than Adam Silver. Like, he's literally untouchable. He's wins the Olympics, everything else. This guy, he's got all these NBA rings. Do you realize how many rings this guy has from Chicago and playing with Jordan and then playing with Curry and Durant and Thompson and Green and the Dubs, and this guy runs the NBA. Listen, people talk about, and I don't deny Pop's 5 rings. I don't. Or his success with Team USA. The two of them together are the most powerful people in the NBA, without a doubt. And I like Spo too, but he doesn't have that kind of juice. He's right. He's on the 3rd floor, down from the penthouse.
He is. Got to do a lot more winning to catch up with those other guys, as great as he is as a head coach. The other game, of course, the Hawks beat the Knicks 108-100. Knicks had a lead at half, looked like they were in control, and then the Hawks thumped them in the second half. There was a span in the third quarter where Trey went absolutely nuts, hit a couple of back-to-back threes, pumped himself up to 22 points. He didn't score in the fourth, actually, but that's okay because there was plenty of DeAndre Hunter and others doing the scoring as Trey was dishing on ESPN.
Trey Young, 22 points, 9 assists inside to Johnson. Kicks it out to Daniels, extra pass, Hunter. Corner 3, got it as the shot clock expires. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Young, alley-oop pass to Hunter. And the largest lead is now 14.
So look, the one thing I noticed about this game was Towns. He was 19, and 5 dimes. More importantly, he hit 2 threes, 3 of 6 from the line. But the thing that stood out to me was the 3 steals and the 3 block shots. And the other thing that stood out to me, and I'm going to say it because it's true, this guy is another guy that thinks he gets fouled every time he scores a bucket. He thinks he's, and one on every single shot. He thinks he gets fouled. He's always screaming and yelling at the refs that he's fouled on every play. Oh, God almighty. Like, listen, is there anything worse? Now, look, I think Luka Doncic is far and away the king of the castle when it comes to being a whiny crybaby B. There's no doubt about it. He complains more than anybody in any sport I've ever seen. But this guy Towns, for my money, when you're a big, you just can't be whining all the time to the refs about everyone that touches you. Like you're 7 foot, 300 pounds. Christ almighty. Like I'll say when I play, I'll say to guys that I play with, they'll say, Ferrall, that was a foul. And I'll go, I'm not calling that. I'm 6'4", 240 pounds. I'm not calling that. But the guy took your arm. I'm not calling it. They'll start calling you a P. If all you do is call fouls, everyone thinks you're a P. That's it. I just play. I get hacked. I just don't even care anymore. I miss the shot. So what? They respect you more when you never cry. This guy cries like a baby. Every single time he shoots it, he thinks it's an and one. He goes into this whole diatribe with the refs. Like, I like his game, but you can't even deny it, Carver High. Like, it's painful. He's a 7 foot big. Like, stop being a bitch. Honestly. I mean it. I have to say it.
Cries for a lot of fouls. There's no question about that. It cries for a lot of fouls. That's a problem around the league. There's a lot of guys who do it. But yes, they love crying for fouls in those spots. I thought my favorite part of the night was when Trae Young was, as the clock was winding down, rolling the dice on the Knick logo. Here's Trae, who, man, he's developed. He's the new, developed the reputation, the villain whenever he walks into the world's most famous arena. Here he is talking about his dice roll on his way to Vegas.
I rolled an 8, and then I picked it up, and then I rolled it again. So I picked up some money after that, and then we left. So that's what I rolled. I played that one with my little brother a few days ago. We had talked about that, and I knew what I was going to do. We're going to Vegas, so that's what I had to do.
This guy, that is fantastic. That is brilliant. Premeditated. Had it all planned out. I love that. And he went out and did it. This guy owns the Knicks. And I mean, at Madison Square Garden, too. Like, who cares what happens at State Farm? That place is dead to rights. But when you do that at the Garden, at the world's most famous, he might as well be the Green Hornet. He is a villain. My man he could be the Penguin. I mean, he is literally a bad guy in New York. Have you ever seen they boo this guy at Giants and Jet games? They start chanting his name. What does he have to do with the NFL? They hate him everywhere in New York. That is when you are rock star status, when you are so good that an entire city is obsessed with you and hates your guts. That's when you know you're a badass.
But the best part is that he embraces it and he gets into it. And he because that's when you got guys who are like, they don't like that. They don't want to be booed. They don't want to be the best. They know they're good. Trae Young is like,
I can't believe they boo me.
Exactly. Like that guy. He wouldn't be able to deal with it. Trae Young walks into the Garden and he's like, all right, let's party. You want to boo me? You want to give me the business? I'm going to give you the business too. And I'm going to have a great time with it. It's awesome. I think it's great.
And I think New Yorkers respect that.
Yes.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koliks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
The NFL and college, they don't operate on the same timelines, right? UNLV's head coach just got, the Purdue job this morning, where I imagine, right, UNC probably needs to know from Bill.
And let's say it's late December, and we see 7, 8 teams open, and none of them want Bill. Then Bill's got to make a decision. Does he want to be a college head coach?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Wow. All right. So let's look at the bracket now for Vegas in City on Saturday. The double dip of great games. So basically, right, college football ends, and we've got semifinals of NBA Cup in its stead on Saturday in Vegas.
That is precisely what you'll get on Saturday. So here's how it looks. The first game will be at 4:30 East. Hawks and the Bucks for the East side. I'm seeing Milwaukee at -3.5 right now. There it is for you.
Why would they do that? Honestly, why would they do that? Why not
what?
7 and 9:30 or something? I mean, honestly,
television rules. Well, here's actually also why. And I don't like this at all. I get why they're doing it, and I was going to get into this conversation with you. They are selling this as 2 separate tickets. So it's not like when you go to like a college doubleheader at one of these things where one ticket, you're in for both games. They play one game, 30 minutes later. So they're going to play the first game, make everyone leave, and then bring them all back in. So that's why there's a 4-hour gap. They have a 4-hour window to do all this. So they're going to play the first game at 4:30 East, and then they're going to play the Rocket Thunder game at 8:30 East. So it's like a split doubleheader, he's like to say. And I wanted to say this to you.
That's absolute bullshit is what that is.
Well, it's money is what it's all about. Now, they do have some issues. Gabe brought this up, and I actually was going to tell you. I saw the Arash tweet, too. Bucks Hawks is going for $29 right now. Thunder Rockets for $39 you can get in. His tweet says, tickets have plummeted since the teams were set last night. The Vegas people were hoping that the Lakers, Warriors, Suns, Clippers, Celtics, or Knicks would be there, but no dice. They're upset that all the small market teams are in the NBA Cup with OKC, Milwaukee, Houston. They don't like that, Sky. They wanted LeBron or Steph or the Celtics or the Knicks. They want the big teams out in Vegas, and they didn't get it, so now no one's going to go to the games, they say.
Well, I that's ridiculous because let me tell you something. Here's how this is going to play out. Anyone that's in Vegas this weekend that's there partying, like, obviously Elvis is going to the Eagles concert and then a Garth Brooks concert, so he's not going. But if you and I were there, we would go to these games. And anyone that has money that is in Vegas gambling and drinking that has money that is there to party, they're going to go too. And they don't care who these teams are. The locals don't like the teams. Oh, like they like that Raider team that sucks and never wins. I mean, what's next? The A's? How they don't win? I don't believe that. Who cares frankly, I'll say it. Who cares what the locals think? It's not that hard to fill an arena to watch an NBA basketball tournament game. I still think they'll draw. I think everyone that's there as a tourist, partying, drinking, drugging, sexting, whatever they're doing, they're going to go to the games. Why not? If I were there, I'd go to the games. Morency and I already said we'd go to the games. I'd go to the games. I don't care what local people are doing. Screw them.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I get you don't have the huge brands like the Lakers, the Knicks, etc., but you still have stars here. It's not like they got teams here. Giannis, Dame Time, SGA, Trae Young. Like, there's a lot of great players that are going to be there this week. I mean, you got stars in these two games. Doesn't make a lot of sense that the interest wouldn't be there.
The Rockets have stars, too.
For them to be there. The Rockets have a bunch of guys, too. They have a great young team that they're bringing up. It's
stupid. Who cares?
But
I'll tell you one thing.
Right.
It's on national television, and
Yes.
I'll be watching. I don't care what those people think. What do you mean, people?
You people. The Thunder are the favorites to win the whole thing, by the way. With the 4 teams that are left, the Thunder are the odds-on favorite. There it is right there. Is there plus $1.15. Still get the Hawks. Now, you said this before the games the other night. I gave you that list of the 8 teams when there was 8 teams left, and the Hawks were down there in the 25, 23, 24, 25 to 1 range.
23 to 1.
And now you'd be sitting fat as they go to Vegas, still having some good hedge opportunities if you had that ticket. Still a good one with them. What did that say? $650, I think it said for the Hawks when we just put it up. So you still get yourself a nice number with that. $5.
$5. Look, let me tell you something. They're going to beat the Bucks, and it's going to be the Thunder and the Hawks. And I agree with Morency, and I didn't need him to tell me. The Thunder, look, they're the best team of all these teams, without a doubt. They're the youngest, fastest, best defensive, best front office, best everything, best star player of all of them. Let's face facts. It'd be Giannis or it'd be Shai Gilgeous, right, in this scenario. Yeah. And I think the Bucks are average. They could barely beat a Magic team that was so shorthanded it wasn't even funny. And I experienced that last night. A shorthanded team I played on, and we still won. I don't think the Bucks are as good as everybody thinks they are. And I'll tell you what. Let's say the Bucks beat the Hawks. Fair enough. Let's say they beat them. They're still losing to the Thunder. They're losing to the Thunder. And I'll tell you one thing. They will get all kinds of physical with Giannis Antetokounmpo if they make the final. Because I think most people think it's going to be Milwaukee and Oak City in that final. Would you guess that, Mike?
Yes, I would think that's what everybody would expect. Would be OKC.
I'm sure Milwaukee's favored.
Milwaukee's favored over the Hawks in the first game. Yes, I think the Thunders they're the favorites for everything. With whoever they play, they're going to be favored at this point in time. So there you go. NBA Cup, Vegas this weekend. Very exciting. This story is now reached. I'm getting really sick of it. Just trade the guy already. The Suns are another team Jimmy Butler would allegedly be open going to. Cut the cord here. Can we trade this guy already? I can't do this every day. There's another team in. The Heat are thinking about it. This team's in. This team's out. You obviously want to trade the guy, so trade him. Just get it done with. Let's go.
So we got the Suns, the Mavs, the Rockets, the Dubs are all automatic that they want to do a deal with him.
Well, I don't know if it's that they want to do a deal for him, but he would go there. He would go to those teams. So I guess you got to cater to the player. Remember that in the NBA. It's always the player has to be catered to wherever he wants to go.
The Suns, and they still don't win with 4 stars.
I'm actually not even on a side today. Yeah. And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
college football today, only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koliks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
The NFL and college, they don't operate on the same timelines, right? UNLV's head coach just got, the Purdue job this morning, where I imagine, right, UNC probably needs to know from Bill.
And let's say it's late December, and we see 7, 8 teams open, and none of them want Bill. Then Bill's got to make a decision. Does he want to be a college head coach?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
So Mafia was in my studio today, and he's enormous. He's 6'5", and he walked in. The first thing that happened was, have you ever seen like a big guy walk into, like an NBA guy walk into a room or whatever, and he has to duck down to this elementary school to see the kids, and he's got to duck under the door? Mafia came in and forgot to duck, and his forehead smacked right into the wall, the ceiling of the studio. I was in front of him, and I'm 6'4". I'm like an inch shorter than Mafia, and I walked right in perfectly. He walks in and goes right off. His head hit the ceiling. It was great. He's like, "Oh!" I was like, "Oh, sorry about that. You got to duck." That's as good as my buddy falling down on the escalator. When it happened, he screamed help, and I turned around and said, "Oh, I need to start filming this." Started filming the guy. He's all injured. He's got bags on top of him. His phone's popping on the escalator. His legs caught under the thing. He's dying. The lady running the thing screaming, "Oh, oh!" And I'm yelling, "Don't hit that button. Let me film this first. Let me film." I love watching my friends suffer, to be honest with you. I'm a kind of creepy person like that.
It's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with not liking people. It's okay. Watching people suffer is all right. There's nothing wrong with that. A few other things here. LeBron, unlikely to play tomorrow night against the Timberwolves. He allegedly still has that foot soreness. So he's now going to potentially miss 2 games in a row.
This guy. I don't care
actually,
if his leg fell off.
Before I saw this other story today, I forgot that this guy existed too. Bronny will play his first G League road game tonight in Arizona.
Who cares?
So Bronny back in the news. Dirk Nowitzki close to finalizing a deal to join Amazon Prime's NBA coverage next season. All right. We'll see. I guess I've never heard Dirk do any analysis of the NBA, so we'll see how that goes for him next year.
Let's just be honest here. Okay, so whenever there's games on there, like tonight, right? Such a pain in my ass to go get it. Like it's just I'm like watching games. I'm watching hockey. I got the game, and then I'm like, oh yeah, the Thursday night game's on. I gotta pick up the remote. I gotta change over to the streaming network, and then it comes on and it says watch now or start from the beginning. I gotta like, how about
why the hell would I want to start from the beginning?
How about when it goes over there and it just wants to refresh your membership, decides that day you need to re-sign in. I haven't remembered a password to any of them. I have to call my son at San Diego State. I'm like, yeah, can you give me those passwords again? I think those streaming network games suck, and I got to go through all these hoops to get to it. After a while, I just stop. I don't even care. I watch hockey.
Get ready.
Everybody
Steelers on Christmas Day on Netflix, so make sure you got your password updated.
Well, obviously, I have Netflix,
Christmas
and I'll watch the Steelers on Christmas Day. I mean, obviously, there are some teams that I'm willing to jump through hoops for.
The Rams and the Niners might not be as big a hoop to jump through if that's
My buddy
the game.
called me today, Carver High, and he said, and I don't even like this guy. You know who he is, in Vegas. And he says, Sunday's going to be great. Sunday's going to be great. You ready for Sunday? I'm like, listen, dude, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Isn't he an Eagle fan? Isn't he an Eagle fan?
He's an Eagles fanatic.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's just automatic that they're going to kick the Steelers' ass. Automatic.
You know, too many Eagle fans between him and Kincaid and all these other guys. There's just too much Eagle juice flying around.
What do you mean, you people?
I like how they all love each other now too. You see all these guys yesterday, AJ Brown and Hurts. Everybody loves each other. It's I don't believe it for a second.
It's their phony.
But they
their
all
phony episode.
All love each other now. So there you go. We have 3 games tonight in the NBA, and I will just we will do those when we come back because they're at the end of the hour and we have some other things to do. So we will do the 3 games tonight, which include the Celtics and the Pistons, the Raptors and the Heat, and Sacramento is in New Orleans against the Pelicans. So we'll do those and then start the football, which will be the Rams and the Niners this evening, Thursday night game to start Week 15. So very busy.
Honestly,
next hour that
we
have.
The 3 NBA games are awful tonight. You talk about second-class citizen games. These 3 games are as bad as it gets. It really
they're
is.
They're not great. They're not
Who
great
wants
games.
to
We got
watch
some
the New Orleans
big spreads.
Pelicans and all of their problems?
They're gonna have to jump through hoops to watch the Rams and the Niners instead. They're just not gonna have to watch.
Get your password ready.
Sharpest football contest show in the land. The Las Vegas Football Contest Show focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
He also said that the Bears head coaching opening would be the most coveted job after the season.
They'll let that guy stay. I heard today that they were very worried about screwing up Caleb Williams, so that he likes this guy Brown so much that they may let him stay as the head coach. What a disaster that'll turn into.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I'm actually not even on a side today. Yeah. And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
We are close right now to round 1 perfection. And the problem I'm going to have is, depending on some of these outcomes on Saturday, it's going to ruin my excitement for round number 1.
I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. Called my doctor after last Monday when we went at it. He said, listen, the blood pressure is off the charts. We can't have you looking like that. I don't want to see neck veins.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.